What's up, everybody? Apparently in the go away. Apparently in the Discord today, there's been a little bit of a Ketramose back and forth. We got a couple people posting 4-1s with everybody's favorite 4-4 indestructible life linker. So I figured I would give it a shot myself, see if I can throw my name in the hat, maybe come up with a trophy to top everybody else, but we'll see. Anyway, this is my take on Esper Ketramose, based on some recent changes I've been trying out in blue-black, most notably cutting all the preordains for more mana sources, finding myself getting stuck on like one land a lot, so want to up the number of total lands or sink into supers I've got. So up to 22 mana sources, 3 Tameo, 2 Cling, 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Counterspell, 4 Frog, 3 Ketramose, 3 Force Negation, 3 Riddler, a couple Kaito, blah, 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 blah. Really geared towards like the recent uptick in Boros, a little bit of a downturn in decks like Jeskai, Blink, and then we got 4 Pest Control on the sideboard to help out with decks like Affinity. So let's go ahead and hop in. As always, if you're enjoying the content, enjoying the commentary, feel free to leave a like, maybe consider dropping a comment down below, coming and hanging out over in the Discord. Link to that's down below. And give me your opinions on what you think I could have done better. So without further ado, let's hop into our league. Round number 1 on the draw. We do have a Ketramose, a little bit of a slow hand, but we get Ketramose hopefully set up with Strategic Betrayal. We can possibly warp Riddler to draw a card off of itself, and it going to exile at the end of the turn triggers Ketramose. So we'll see if that is able to do some stuff. We're up against a Blink variant. Be straight Orzhov. Looks like straight Orzhov. Opponent's got a Felia here. That's a little dicey for us. Want Kaito. It's not particularly great right here, but card I would like access to in this matchup. Yeah, but if our opponent just has Felia into Overlord on their turn, we're gonna have a lot of problems this game. Emperor of Bones. That's not an Overlord. Blink their Emperor to get a counter on the Felia. Could just get down Ketramose. Not really the most thrilling line out there. Taking a pretty big chunk of damage, but between the Emperor of Bones trigger and the Strategic Betrayal, should be able to get Ketramose online next turn. And I've got double spell with Bowmaster and Betrayal, so perhaps that can get us somewhere. They have nothing. We're looking at Emperor exiling our swamp is up to 2 cards in exile. And then Strategic Betrayal hits a creature from their side and their 4 cards in the graveyard. It's up to exactly 7. But it looks like they're probably going to Flicker, Felia, Blink, Flicker Wisp. Get our Ketramose out of here. This is kind of both good and bad because it makes me think that they don't have an answer to the Ketramose. Which if we're able to get it attacking, could be really good for us. Counterspell's not bad. Let's go ahead and Bowmaster this Flicker Wisp. Then Strategic Betrayal you. You would rather give up? Pass through, get Ketramose back and online. And in a perfect world, next turn we get to attack with Ketramose. Maybe Ninjutsu Kaito off like the army token, hold up Counterspell. That would be kind of best case scenario. Am I blocking this? I think I'm going to hold back. I think with the Kaito Ninjutsu threaten plus the Counterspell, I want to have 2 attacking creatures. That gives me the best chance of being able to Ninjutsu plus hold up Counterspell. If I block with the Orc Army token and they just play like some sort of creature here, then I might not be able to attack through without picking up Ketramose, which I don't really want to do. Rather have Ketramose being able to attack. Blue source that only loses me 1 life is pretty nice here. Let's go down to 4. Back in. Blocks. Well, Ninjutsu. Jutsu off the army token. Yeah, if they got blue, they probably have Quantum Riddler. Stun the Felia. Ephemerate. Fine. pass through. Is there any reason to tap off of counterspell here to try to prismatic ending this Felia? I just have Ketramose and Bowmaster around. They're going to go for land. If they go for Warp Quantum Riddler here, I do get to just shoot down the Felia. Not 100% sure they recognize that. So I'm going to say no response. Draw your 2 cards, point 2 at Felia. They draw into another Ephemerate. They could save the Felia, but then they'd be losing the warp on the Quantum Riddler. Plus the Felia can't attack this turn. And if they have an Ephemerate, they should respond to the first Bowmaster trigger so that both of them fizzle instead of me getting an army token here. Looks like they have an Ephemerate and they're trying to decide if they want to keep the Felia around or keep the Quantum Riddler. I think if they save the Felia, I let it go. If they go to Ephemerate the Quantum Riddler, is this just to try to find another Ephemerate to save the Felia? Are they dead on board if I let this go? They blink, draw another card. I shoot them down to 7. Yeah. I just let this go because this is currently got them dead on board. Emperor of Bones is fine because I have the prismatic ending. Now I can just save this counter spell in case their last 2 cards are Solitude white card. Don't have to make any other actions. So land, Matic ending the Emperor. Draw a card off Ketramose. Cameo. So Ketramose Menace means it's for sure getting into 4, putting him to 3. They can block the Kaito. I still got a 3/3 army token coming in. So cool to see that. I think I want Rest in Peace here. So Rest in Peace shuts off Overlord and Emperor of Bones. which are both pretty problematic cards. Consigned to memory. I want some number, maybe not 3, but Flicker Wisp, Failure are both good targets for it. Mystical Dispute, because I saw Quantum Riddler. They're probably bringing in disputes. Might have Consign. Stuff I'm less excited about. Force Negation can go. Cling to Dust, not so exciting if I'm bringing in Rest in Peace. On the draw, so maybe I don't want extra. Like, Consign is really good into those Felia plus Overlord or Felia plus Riddler starts. Ending, I think, is a little bit weaker. Having push for Felia is a little bit better than pending. Neither of them hit Overlord or Quantum Riddler. Kind of prefer the instant speed one. Got turn 1 Hand Disruption. Turn 2 we can hold up Mystical Dispute for their turn 3 in case they've got a Quantum Riddler plus a blink effect. Got a removal spell. Triple Witch Enchanter. Philia's best available card. Would have been super nice to have a surgical extraction. Just Thoughtseize away a Witch Enchanter, surgical, the 3 of them. Overlord. Yep. Felia. Makes sense. All right. See if they go for the Flicker Wisp. Not. What am I looking for here? Sign. And is third Witch Enchanter, Solitude, Felia. Making me Strategic Betrayal this. Kaito. Guess we'll keep that because I Strategic Betrayal this turn. They Flicker Wisp on their turn. Then I Kaito stun down the Overlord. Exactly sound thrilling or inspiring. my Kaito to the Flicker Wisp. Okay. So I'm definitely bringing in an extra consign on the play. Got back Felia again. I could probably scoop it up here. I don't have any sweeper effects that can clear out the board. All my best answers are like strategic betrayal that I've already seen one. Back in the extra pending too. Scratch that pending. It would have been a lot better that game on the play anyway, so don't overthink it. Good. Got the decision to make between casting Frog and holding up Counterspell. Pretty okay with holding up Counterspell. Maybe that changes now that I've got the Kaito. Like, worst case scenario would be Overlord, Solitude, get rid of the Frog. Push the or push the Frog would be okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna jam the Frog. Because if their hand is trying to like set up Felia, then I could have Frog down with push Counterspell next turn. And that would be like pretty close to game over if I get in an attack or two with the Frog. Just have a push. Master is pretty good. This looks like Overlord plus Mystical Dispute. So I think I'm just going to let this go and go for Bowmaster, Untap Ninjutsu. It's Emperor of Bones. Don't really want you, but I also don't want them to Bowmaster into, or Emperor into Bowmaster. Get Kaito down. I want a 0 looking for a untapped black source for fatal push. That's probably GG's if they got the 4th land. Be able to Emperor back the Quantum Riddler, kill Kaito. Not like actual GG's, but it's pretty rough spot for us. Really needed that 4th land. And draw a card in, kill our Kaitos. Pretty rough. We could have ticked up Kaito, but yeah, I still like the play, kind of looking for that land. Stars turn late. Go ahead and get you off the board. We got all right, show me the mystical dispute. Go mystical dispute. Huh. Ephemerate, ephemerate. Overlord coming off suspend next turn. They're going down to 4. Cast out the Witch Enchanter. All right. So if I cast out Quantum Riddler, they get to end of their turn, ephemerate the Overlord. They can't cast anything. They would have to ephemerate and hit Solitude exactly. It either has to be Solitude for turn, or they have to hit Solitude off of the ephemerated Overlord. They have to do this end of their turn. Because if I have Counterspell in hand, and you wait, and I counterspell the first ephemerate, then you can't ephemerate have Solitude white card after. They kept a card on top. If it was a Solitude, they should have just put it in the graveyard. Was a Solitude. Okay. Have to Solitude, pitch ephemerate. Okay, so I can sink into Stupor, the Witch Enchanter, Strategic Betrayal, the Overlord. That at least clears up the board here. Nothing to rebound. The Witch Enchanter's fine. Tomato. Carry on. Go ahead and play out this Bowmaster. If I find a Kaito off the top, I want to be able to ninjutsu for lethal. Back-to-back pushes. All right. Pretty good one. All right, don't show me a Solitude or Prismatic ending here. Emperor of Bones gets back. Frog. Fine, because they hit me with a frog. They can't draw into Solitude or Prismatic ending off of that. Could sit back with the Emperor as a blocker this turn. Or they have to sit back with the Emperor as a blocker regardless. I guess they can target like Cameo or something and just put it into play with the Emperor, double block. Sure. Master now. I guess they know my last card's Mystical Dispute, so probably don't want me drawing into a potential fatal push or something. Full rip. Let's attack with our Ketramose. Really, we could attack with the Ketramose and the token because the Emperor adapting is gonna kill the token more than likely anyway. So back with it's not doing much. Blocking with the Bowmaster. Old. Draw a card off that. We get to Rest in Peace. It'll draw us a card. Land pass. And Mystical Dispute, a hard cast Solitude. Not Mystical Dispute, a hard cast, or a 3-mana Prismatic Ending. Good attacks for our opponent. So now, like, fetch lands become draw a card. Really nice. See what you got going on. Thoughtseize. Land. Trigger Ketramose. Fine. Start off with attacking. I guess I could Quantum Riddler looking for a fatal push or something. Emperor. Card. Burn a Thoughtseize to be able to warp this Riddler. Draw 2. End of turn, Riddler goes to warp, triggers Ketramose again. And hopefully at this point, we've just like buried our opponent with cards. Could have sequenced that last turn a little bit better, but most part it got the job done. Hope so. Warps in a Quantum Riddler. I'll consign the Riddler ETB trigger. That goes away to warp. They have 1 blocker left against my Menace attacker. That should be it. Hiya. All right, nice little 1-0 start. We'll catch you back for round number 2. Oh no, friendly fire round 2. Trying to hit us with the Spider-Man point meme. All right, well, pretty good hand. I don't know what we're up against, but I'm assuming it's something fair. All right. What are we leading on? I want to lead on Watery Grave, Thought Seize, because I got potentially Island for Counterspell or Frog turn 2, and then maybe something else for Ketramose on 3. Is most definitely a fair mirror. It's fun how similar these two decks look at the moment. I think we're just going to take Counterspell. If they want a fair Riddler on 3 or on 2. Kept a card on top. Slightly terrifying. I think worst case scenario here would be I play Frog, they play Bowmasters. I play Frog, they play Bowmasters. I block Bowmasters, they ninjutsu Kaito off the token, stun the Frog. I cast Ketramose. They subtlety it. They get in a free attack with Kaito and a 0. And I have to hope they miss Counterspell so I can land my own Kaito. I don't love that sequence, but there's also the chance that I play Frog here and they play Counterspell. And I get to get down Ketramose next turn. Or they just have Fatal Push. Okay. So reasonable. Now, I could jam Ketramose and they would get to jam Kaito. Then I could jam Kaito. They would subtlety. Or they could subtlety Ketramose, play Kaito. I think I want to jam Ketramose here. Joys of perfect information here. A subtlety, they have to give up either Quantum Riddler or Kaito that are both really good hits. Let the Ketramose resolve. Ketramose resolving's pretty solid because typically Dimir does not have a way to get it off the board once it's down outside of like exactly sink into stupor. I hope they're passing through with subtlety. Interesting. I thought for sure they'd want to jam that Kaito. But I'm not going to pass up the opportunity to get Frog or get down Ketramose. So if I cast Frog, I'm trying to think if I want the extra black source right now. I don't think so, because I don't think I'm going to be double spelling next turn anyway. Petty theft. Go for the counter spell. Now they can subtlety my Frog, but again, they'd have to give up something good. They give up Quantum Riddler. It's Frog on top. They're going to have to spend next turn, more than likely, Kaito stunning down the Ketramose. Because if they don't, there's a good chance that Ketramose gets to attack back into the Kaito. Yep. Gonna draw again, looking for a land. Negation's not terrible. Ah, you hit the counter back. Oof. All right, well, not completely dead, but still great in the face of this Kaito. That's the damage there. Get to gain 3 life and draw a card. Probably have to stun down Ketramose again. I just sit back for a turn. I decide on whether I have to block next turn. I do not. I guess I just lead with Sink into Stupor. See if that resolves before I go for Cameo attack. Yeah. I think you just have to rejam the Kaito. Or winning if I've got counter spell here. The play. Could just like stun the Ketramose for 2 more turns. I don't think that would be awful. Not the most thrilling play, but stun the Tameo. That's a risky one. I think this is Quantum Riddler. There's less outs for it. It can't be hit with like a spell snare here. Blocks Kaito a lot better. I think Quantum Riddler. There's a reasonable chance Quantum Riddler just won this game by being the top deck there. You have your own, sure. Odawara. Oh, man. Odawara. Opponent thought I had the force when I cracked the clue. I did not. I, in fact, had nothing, but we're not going to tell them that. They'll probably see it in the YouTube video later. All right, so we're up against just straight Dimir. They could be bringing in Harbinger. I doubt it, but I wouldn't just be shocked. Rest in Peace doesn't really do anything. Pest Control, nope. Consign, nope. Force out for 3 Mystical Disputes. Call it a day. Good old Odawara. Love to play first. I think I'm just going to lead on Tamiyo instead of leading on tap land here. Got the push. They got the push. And I don't think I'm jamming. If they push Tamiyo, I'll jam Frog. And it said, no frog, no frog, no frog. Sigh. Dude, they went one top, one bottom. Pretty good. Hop in with frog, see what happens. Ooh. I don't think I can pass up resolving Ketramose here. Hopefully this is just too good of a curve on the play. And it says, hug in shambles, my greedy 7. Oh no, miss land drop. Toe's not bad. So we're a ways off of getting Ketramose online. Just slow it down a little bit. Oh man. Be okay with that trade-off. I'm winning the card advantage war at the moment. Can't think of any, maybe like a toxic deluge. If they have land deluge would do a good job of getting them out. But we're just going to keep jamming these really tough to deal with threats. See what you got going on. See what I need to play around. Take Quantum Riddler. Ending the Tamiyo. Ketramose. All right, go ahead. Game 2 goes to the good guys. On to game 3. Back on the draw. Is there anything I want to change up? We saw Wan Shi Tong that game. Can't imagine that they're playing more than like 2, maybe 3. Have to be aware of that when fetching. I don't think there's anything I really want to change up. His hand like hard folds into a Tamiyo on turn 1. Is that it? Shouldn't have said it. Nothing on turn 2. I'd rather just sit on like a surveil here, counterspell, than try to jam something. I think I'm going to go ahead and fetch now. They showed me Wan Shi Tong already. Now, the bright side about Tamiyo is you do still have to pay mana for these clues. A very non-zero cost. If you're 1 turn sooner. Got interaction for days. Rough hand to beat. Especially since they just already have the Kaito on board. Like, I could take push, cast frog. I get to petty theft, resolve a Tamiyo. My best bet is take their Bowmaster, cast my Bowmaster. Try to set up like ninjutsu through a blocker, but they might just go brazen bar or like petty theft my army token, push the Bowmaster. Now that they find the land, it's definitely like petty theft, push, play Tamiyo, hold up mystical dispute. Petty Theft, push, Tamio. Yeah. Yep. I don't think I have any top decks here. Yes, play Frog, dispute their dispute is start. They have Kaito, stun, attack back. I would need this to be like Kaito, stun, attack Tamio, and I top deck another Bowmasters. Come on. Never mind. I think they I guess they want to just flip Tamio here. This is fine. Basic land. Not a basic land. EG's in the mirror. But it said hand was 2 lands, 5 threats. Keep. Understandable. Understandable. I'll catch y'all back for round number 3. Round number 3. Get to be on the play this time. Do love being on the play. Reasonable hand. Cling to Dust is like a great way to basically single-handedly enable Ketramose. You get to exile something for the 1 black, draw a card, flash it back for 4. That's 5 exiled total. And then 1 more card exiled off of the target is 6. So like 6 out of the 7 cards you need to get Ketramose online. You get to draw 2 cards off of the Cling itself. Hopefully have Ketramose out. Is this allies? Oh my god. What year are we living in? Seems like the kind of matchup that if we get Ketramose down, might be okay. Frog's pretty good. I can't say I really know what kind of cards allies are playing in 2025. Guess we're going to find out. Jasmine Dragon Tea Shop. Add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast an ally or activate an ability of an ally. 5 and tap. Create a 1/1 white ally creature token. Sokka enters. Discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many. Whenever you cast an artifact or lesson, put a 1/1 counter on Sokka. So we get no attack from our opponent. I think I'm going to take this turn to Prismatic Ending the Free Blade and attack in with the Frog. could get the Ketramose down, but the Ketramose is like nowhere near being online at the moment. And I don't think I want to take a turn off, not really be able to attack in with the frog, and be kind of behind on board. Cast an artifact or lesson. This thing doesn't have, like, randomly have protection from frogs, does it? Well, I didn't think they would block there, but empty board where I've got a frog is kind of right where I want to be. Sack this to give another ally indestructible. I'm not going to crack this fetch here. I don't know if they have anything they can do in response, but I don't want to give them a free window. I want to just like give them the ability to respond. In case they have like a dismember. I think I'm going to go cling my own flooded strand. Just looking for a land drop here. Oh. Pass it back. TB, create a 1/1. Sure. I would like to try to start using these counter spells pretty aggressively, because I'm assuming that yeah, I was going to say I'm assuming a tribal based deck like this is running counter spell in some capacity, or running Cavernous Souls in some capacity. Do kind of hate that I missed my window there. Maybe opponent will be nice enough to go for a double spell turn. Be a target. Getting our wish. Settled Mariner is definitely one I'm interested in keeping off the board. I have to believe the last card's probably pretty good if they are discarding an Earth Kingdom Protector, like discarding a live card. Cameo. Not bad. Frog's able to get through. I'm pretty fine with these frogs just like soaking up chump blocks. Now I actually get to flip Tamio here. Take some damage. Get Tamio. Discard. Counter spell. So we get to get Tamio flipped and get Ketramose online and draw another card. Draw another card. Their team say go. That's a pretty good turn. Pretty good turn, if I do say so. I doubt this Force of Negation's going to have a target, but I don't mind kind of holding it up through their turn just in case. Could have like a dismember. What do we got? So Strategic Betrayal next turn will draw us another card. This. Turn to the ranks. Well, I didn't think Force of Negation was going to have a target. Clearly, I was wrong. Clearly, I was wrong. Not only does it have a target, it's got a fantastic target. So now I'm not really concerned about my life total anymore. So we're going to Thought Seize, live target, Strategic Betrayal you. I could just buy back Betrayal, completely clear up the board. But I think attacking in's a little bit better. This is really where Ketramose has a chance to shine, is being able to like pull us ahead on cards, get back into the game with the life link. Hard to interact with the indestructible. So they just sacked this, returned their ally token to hand, and scooped. Respect. All right, what was that big spell they cast? That return to the ranks? We return to the ranks. X2 blue or X2 white. Invoke. Turn X target creature cards with converted mana cost 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Pretty solid. Pretty solid. So I know I want Harbinger because they have a very greedy mana base. I want some number of pest control. And I think I want Rest in Peace. I can cut Force of Negation, some number of counter spells. This is good. Looking for a hand with some early interaction. Push, Prismatic Ending. The best hands you can get in this deck are hands with early interaction, some form of card advantage, like a Kaito, Tamio, Frog, Quantum Riddler. This hand's definitely a little slow, but if they have a hand that just like rolls out one drop into double one drop or something, we might be able to catch up. Let's go Marsh Flats, go. Get basic Swamp and Push if I need to. Mariner. All right, I think I'll just go ahead and kill this Earth Kingdom Protector now. Makes my pest control worse, but I really don't want them getting free chip damage in. Cavern. Sacrifice. Return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. Activate only during your turn. Do I think they're likely to block? Probably. But again, like last game, I'm fairly happy if they just block. Think I'm ninjutsuing the Kaito. I could though. If I want to just start embleming the Kaito. I actually don't hate that. Get a hallowed fountain here. See what we drawed. Due to the frog, and then just start making emblems. Then next turn, I can double spell with frog plus bowmaster. Again, keep ticking up Kaito while they don't have a lot of pressure on the board. Lets me use all of my mana efficiently. Airbend creature or spell. They cannot airbend my Kaito. They're just playing this out now because I'm tapped out. If I stun something, I have to pay the one for the Mariner, so I don't think I'm going to stun anything. I don't think I'm going to worry about return to the ranks right now because they don't have a graveyard or don't have anything relevant in the graveyard at the moment. Counterable Earth King protectors. I do have to make sure that when I play out this Bowmaster, I don't target one of their things, because with the Unsettled Mariner, the trigger would get countered and I wouldn't get to make an Orc Army token. So it's got to flash in and like target myself or target Kaito or the frog or something. I think I'm just going to target myself. Got some life to work with. And for blocks, what am I doing? I kind of like just block frog on the Mariner. Let the two come in from Aang. Just discard one card. Definitely made this sequencing a lot worse. I could have just blocked and then Bowmaster post combat and pinged them. Fine. Kind of why I didn't want to block both Aang and the Mariner, because I could have double blocked the Bowmaster and the token on the Mariner, Aang with the frog. And I would have left myself in a kind of awkward spot against the sack. Emblem. Leave the token back. Double pending. Airbend up to one other target creature or spell. So if I go for Prismatic Ending, the Mariner. Get Airbend. Riddler's good. Like, Prismatic Ending is definitely the play I would like to make. Just Prismatic Ending the Aang, use all my mana. Guess that's what I'm going to go for. Maybe I'm supposed to Prismatic Ending this thing. But I kind of like the idea of getting Aang off the battlefield. So that hopefully they can't attack back into Kaito. Have another Aang. Bounce the Aang, sure. Does effectively the same thing, so good with that. They could Aang to airbend my Psychic Frog. Alamar Excavator. This is going to mill over my Quantum Riddler I kept on top. Oh, they're milling themselves. Never mind. Trying to set up return to the ranks. I was going to say they can't convoke that right here, so they can't get anything back. Now that I see Halimar Excavator, I played against allies with Excavator in Standard, and typically it's a combo piece. You use Excavator with like effects to copy Excavator, or in their case, return to the ranks to try to just like mill your opponent out by getting a bunch of allies back. It's kind of cool. They just couldn't get the threat density of allies. Either way, fun match. Catch you back for round number 4. Round number 4. You're on the draw. Roll with it. Turn 1 pending. Turn 2 counter spell. Undercity Sewers. Frog. Maybe like Grixis Reanimator. Could be just straight Dimir. Probably not straight Dimir. Push my tomato. Few too many lands. It must have Spell Pierce based off that shock in Blood Crypt for Fatal Push. Be my guess. If they have Spell Pierce plus like discard and Archon. Spell Snare, sure. Spell Pierce plus discard and Archon plus a reanimate effect. We're going to be kind of cooked, but. Now we need to find an answer for a hard cast Oculus really quick. Well, or that. Oh, fewer lands. Bowman's not terrible. Like Bowmaster, go after the frog and try to just get them to discard their entire hand. Okay, so I just like completely misinterpreted this match. It's just a fair Grixis frog deck. It's not Reanimator. Not Reanimator. Counterspell. Don't think I have to play around Harbinger. All right. My 2 cards versus your 2 cards. Oh, wait, they have Cling to Dust too. They're more than 2 cards. Okay. That's a pretty hot one right here. So they escape Cling. I get to Cling their Cling target. So I get to draw and they don't. Then they don't have enough cards in the yard to escape Cling again. But I do. A Cling of my own was fantastic draw right there. Now, like I said, I get to possibly Cling their Cling. The card on top. All right. I think I am going for cling there, cling right now. Worst case scenario would be a Bowmasters. Best case scenario is nothing. Nice. Pass back. We've got card advantage going. Our opponent does not at the moment. Quantum Riddler. I do like Quantum Riddler quite a lot. Might be worth just warping that right here. But I kind of feel like I can hold off. I'll probably go for the Riddler this next turn. Kind of interaction they've got. Here to deal with a subtlety at the moment. If they, all right, I was going to say if they counterspell back on that subtlety, I would let it go and then strategic betrayal. But since they didn't counterspell back, we'll just let them have that card. Bane's fine. One top, one bottom. It was fine. Like, I'm the one with the Riddler at the moment, so all I really need to do is kind of maintain parity. Trade 1 for 1. Start utilizing my card advantage. Eventually hard cast a Riddler. Subtlety. Put Tamio back on top. Strategic betrayal. There's subtleties. Play a tap sink into stupor. Say go. And now next turn I've got Tamio plus hard cast Riddler. They don't do anything I need to interact with. This will probably get a scoop. Not. Have another surveil. All right. Post. I think I might just Tamio minus on counterspell. Ketramose with double counterspell backup. They go. That'll end the game pretty quickly. I think that opponent is trying to get us closer to time here. Just try to play for me getting down to similar time as them going into game 2. I have to make more clicks. Maybe not. Since they're thinking pretty hard on my upkeep, that's probably not the case. But I'm really not sure what they could have at this point that kind of gives them an out. So find out. Masters is fine. This is like probably Kaito. Got a double block. That is why I'm okay with that Bowmaster there. Why I don't care about it, because like they either have to double block the Ketramose, or I get to Bowmaster their Bowmaster with double counterspell backup into their 3 cards. Okay. Grixis Frog. I'm assuming, since I didn't see anything red in the main, it's probably just for sideboard like meltdowns, maybe pyroclasm, stuff like that. So for the purposes of how I want to approach the matchup, it might as well just be straight Dimir. It may have Unholy Heat, but I didn't see Mishra's Bauble, so I doubt that one. Like, not seeing Bauble, not seeing Tamio means pretty unlikely. I didn't see Faithless Looting or Oculus or Unearth, so I doubt it's Grixis Oculus. If it was, I'd definitely be bringing in Rest in Peace. So they're gonna have to show me what the red is for before I start making too many, you know, like plays into it. This is a good draw. We'll preserve our life total a little bit here. I just get Swamp Thoughtseize. Bowman, Counterspell, Sync. Spell it is. Double Bowman could be a little tricky. Bowman now. I could Thoughtseize the other Bowmaster and like push this one. Not as good as just playing out a frog. And if they do have something to kill the frog, like a push here, I just go ahead and eat the 3 cards in my yard. Try to start building up to Ketramose. And number 2. Okay, so if I find 3rd land, this is really, really good for me. I just get to push one, Bowman the other. Slightly less good. So they kept a Sink into Stupor in hand. Does that mean that they've got a Force of Negation here? Or maybe a Subtlety? A Subtlety would make sense. So let's cast the Bowmaster, see if they want to ditch 2 cards to get or keep the Bowmaster from resolving. Like, no. Pass back. Attacking in doesn't make a lot of sense because they can just take it, use their Bowmaster to ping my Bowmaster. Frog of their own. Good attacks. Gonna have a frog standoff. All right. Feels like they've got a, yeah. Oh, and they had the Force. Interesting. Bottom this frog. Pass through. So they've got Sink into Stupor, unknown. If they want to sink my frog and attack him with theirs, that's fine. I'll just kill off their Bowmaster. Not a land. I think we'll go for upkeep, fatal push their frog. Their last card is another force negation. They can't use it. Honestly, I could probably push their Bowmaster and be pretty happy. But really, all I want to do is find third land for this Ketramose. Bolt in the Springs. That's basically gotta mean force of negation. I don't think there's anything else that makes any sense right here. Yep. And we'll just pass back, plan on getting a meticulous archive here to set up Ketramose. Or if opponent's going to put something on the stack, then we'll take the opportunity to counterspell. Ketramose. They go. No real reason to attack right here. I am going to exile 3 on their instep when I don't have to lose a life and draw a card. Oh man, resolves. At this point, I'm pretty inclined to just draw a card. Like, even though you get a Bowmaster ping, I've got Ketramose starting to come in now. Ketramose will kind of pull me ahead, hopefully. One Shi Tong for 1. Get a counter, but they do not get to draw a card off of this. I'm pretty okay with just not searching. Good draw. So let's fatal push the Bowmaster. And now we get to go a little bit crazy. Fine. fine. I don't think opponent realizes it that they're dead here. 10. Draw a card off the frog, discard whatever I draw into. Draw 2 because of the Quantum Riddler. Quantum Riddler just turns all of these into discard 2, exile 3, draw 2, discard 2, exile 3, draw 2, repeat over and over and over again. So I can, with 8 cards still in my library, I can activate this 8 more times, put 16 1/1 counters on the frog. If I had the life total to do it, I can only do it 12 more times. So I can only put, 12 counters? No. 12 activations. Or no, I'm restricted by the 8 cards in the yard. So yeah, 16 counters on the frog for a very nice chunk of damage. But sweet one there. We'll catch you back for round number 5. Round number 5, back on the play again with a no lander, so that's getting an easy ship. Pretty reasonable 6. By throwing back, I kind of want to keep Tamiyo Kaito Force, so I think I'm just going to throw back the Ketramose. I don't have any way of enabling it with this hand. So this will let me just play out Tamiyo on 1, hold up Force if I need it. Try to set up Kaito Ninjutsu on 3. One of the things I do always love about hands like this is the fact that Tamiyo gets you like some value when she's out on the battlefield to start things off. And then when you pick her up to Kaito, it enables Force and Negation by adding a blue card back to your hand. Really nice little early synergy. Like opponent's just got a lightning bolt. Too many lands. I know I mentioned earlier. Okay, so it's Prowess. I mentioned earlier about going up on mana sources. I'm still significantly happier to see more lands than I would normally need than to see not enough lands and have that really hurt my progressions. So even if I see 4, 5, 6 lands, I'd still rather see that than be like stuck on 2 for a while. At least I have stuff I can do with these lands, like hard cast Kaito or Storm Chaser's Talent. I think I'm going to force a negation this. Obviously, there's the chance I could just die here, but don't want my opponent making more bodies. Target creature blocks this turn if able. Okay. Oh, it's got learn. They're going to be able to give this hex proof and +1/+1. Well, I think I just go ahead and make them use that. Interesting card. That's not a prowess trigger for next turn. That is, though. I have to believe that Corey Steel Cutter was off the top. Because I can't imagine a world where you don't cast the Corey Steel plus Slick Shot last turn. Frog's not doing a whole lot for me. Push, however, is so we will pack in Jutsu. Stun down the Slick Shot. Pass. All right, so they got 3 cards in hand to find 2 spells. They need a little bit more than 2 spells. Bolt would kill me, though. I can get them to use up like a mutagenic growth or something. Gonna get got by another academic dispute plus octopus form. Be pretty gross. Origin of metal bending. For an artifact or enchantment. A 1/1 counter on target creature you control gains indestructible. Okay. Interesting build of prowess. Quantum Riddler. So that's Tameo flip if I want it. I don't know how much Tameo Flip does for me. I kind of want Tameo just as a blocker. The emblem. Back in. So I can, the emblem is to make sure that I can stun the slick shot next turn. Gonna use up this origin. I really like this play. I feel like you want to save that for your turn. Token. Okay. Kaito. Like a little more interested in flipping Tameo now. Pass the turn, and I think on their upkeep, I'm going to go for the. Or no, it gets a counter on it. Okay, that was kind of bad then. I was thinking this was a 1-1. Yeah, we're dead here. Thinking that was a 1-1, and I was going to be able to Bowmaster ping it down on their upkeep. I forgot it gets a 1-1 counter. Pest control looks pretty good against them if they're playing the blue enchantment, the make an otter one. I didn't see any Dragon's Rage channelers. But rest in peace. Really good way to enable Ketramose. To the devil. We'll take a force negation because that's a way to answer Corey Steel Cutter on 2. But by playing the frog, I think I'd rather just play Swamp Rest in Peace here. Have force negation up for Corey Steel Cutter. Potentially pest control next turn. Plot a slick shot. Frog. Slick shot definitely has a chance of doing a good chunk of damage. Can't fly to block it. See what they get. Curious. Bit of metal bending. Sure. Stuck in a loop here. Oh, it gets reach. Oh. They go for the origin. I force of negation. We have to trade off here. Well, that card looks exponentially worse into an opposing psychic frog. Oh, that's super funny. Force that. All right, land off the top for Ketramose would be big time. I said land off the top for Ketramose, not Ketramose. Don't have to worry about you getting out of range of Bowmaster trigger. Bolt into the graveyard. Handler gets pinged. Jordan. Third land for Ketramose. Come on, deck. I know you can do it. Untapped land. Put 2 cards on top for Preordain, which is a little bit terrifying. Wait, This says you may have it gain reach. So they targeted my frog and made it get reach. A bold strategy. Chill back. I have to block with the Bowmaster, but I don't have to block with the Orc Army token. Get counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. Well, sorry, Ketramose, you're getting the counter here. So what I'm seeing so far out of this academic dispute card, at least the way it looks to me, is like the cards you get off of it are interesting. I don't know if I would go as far as saying good, but they're cool. It's just like a kind of, I guess, collective of unique effects. All right, well, if you got another one, you got another one. Ketramose is on the board. Start me, sure. I'm hoping now that Ketramose is stuck on the battlefield, they might have like they might have into the flood maw, but hopefully they don't have like too many ways of actually getting it off the board. I don't know if Ketramose is better attacking or being held back. Probably attacking here. Like I need to be actively gaining life. Yep. I did. That looks dead. Rough. Rough way to end that league. Cool to see the Prowess deck using some new cards, or at least trying them out. Unfortunate that Slick Shot Show Off is still a nightmare of a card to deal with, especially when you're on a bunch of prismatic endings. I definitely could have pendinged the Slick Shot. That was probably the better move there on that last game, is to pending the Show Off and just know that I've got the Ketramose to block the ground guys. But anyway, interesting 3-2 there. Wish we could have done a little bit better, but I think Ketramose really shined. I think it had a lot of cool play patterns that I would like to explore a little bit more. I liked the land count not being up on, like, being up on actual lands and not up on quote unquote lands with more cantrips. Felt good. Just like naturally hitting land drops, except for that third game against Prowess. That's also why I've been trying out like 23 mana sources in paper. And I also think that there's a lot to be said about going up another sync, cutting like 2 pending for the 3rd and 4th push, dropping the last pending, and just going really straight Dimir in the main deck. Utilizing, you could run Otawara, you could run the sync, just utilizing like the clean Dimir mana and going to the white splash almost strictly post board. Just depends on how much you want to go down the Ketramose route. I think Ketramose is not that hard to enable when you've got Psychic Frog, Strategic Betrayal, Cling to Dust, Force Negation, Warped Riddler. So I like the potential of exploring Ketramose a lot more going forward as a card advantage engine. Anyway, that's all I got. Hope y'all have an awesome rest of your weekend or your week. Stay safe. Enjoy some good food and company. I will catch y'all back live later. Adios for now.